power of base to the power. Correct. Then one more arithmetic operator left is, I think, mod. Modulus or mod, which always returns the remainder after the division. Correct? Fine. There's one division and there's one floor division. If you use double front slashes for floor division, so after dividing divisor by dividend, whatever is the quotient, it takes the floor value and returns. Alright. With respect to floor, we also learned the concept of floor and ceiling of any floating point number. Alright. Fine. Hoping people have understood the concept yesterday. At the end of the class, we also learned, I think we wrote one program in Python that was to do the denomination of currency. Correct? We use two arithmetic operators in it, floor division and the mod. That's a modulus operator. All right. Fine. Okay. Would be glad if somebody could write me in the chat box. I'm clearly audible, visible to you or not. Okay. This problem of screen mirroring, I'm hardly getting time actually to look into and solve it. Most probably by Monday, I shall keep a lot of features enabled here. Okay. Hello. Thank you, Darshan. Okay. But I'm audible to you, right? I'm audible to you. Just write me yes or no. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Fine. Keeping time constraint in mind and moving ahead, let's explore other types of operators today. So, here we go. Okay. Hoping you are attending the class either with Python installed on a system and working along with me. That would give you a solid practice, never to forget kind of experience. Understood? Also, make sure that your writing is sitting with your notebooks and pens. All right? Okay, fine. Arithmetic we have already covered up. So let's move on to day two, comparison operator. Okay, comparison operator. Following are the comparison operators. Equal to, exclamation equal to, which is read as not equal to. Greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. This is a sort of or a kind of easy category. It won't take a lot of time. So let's quickly write some code. Okay, once again, today I'm working on Colab. Okay, logged into my account of Google Colab and I start working. All right, fine. I assign 10 to variable A and 20 to variable B. Right? If I write like this, A equal B, it's like a question, people. All these operators returns true or false. Right? Double equal to checks for equality of the two variables. Mind you, there is one more operator like this coming up, so that you aren't confused that time. Make sure the concept is clear now. Double equal to compares the equality of values of the two variable. Right? Is A equal to B? No, A is not equal to B because A is storing 10 and B is storing 20. So let me run this piece of code. All right, so it returns me false. A is not equal to B. Right? So if I change B to 10, if I change B to 10, now the value in A is equal to the value in B. That is the role of equal to equal to. It checks for the values of the two variables for equality. All right? It checks for the values between or of the two variable for equality. Okay. So I run. Yes, A is equal to B, hence it returns to us as true. Correct? All right. Like equal to, I have another operator, that is exclamation equal to. Understood? This is called as a not equal to operator. It checks for, is A not equal to B? Understood? It works opposite of equal to equal to. Right? If A is not equal to B, then only it will return true. In this case, it's going to return false because A is equal to B. All right. So is A is 10 and B is 10. So what 10 is not equal to 10? That's false. Darshan, right now? A is 10 and B is also 10. So what 10 is not equal to 10? False. 10 is equal to 10. All right. Okay. So equal to, not equal to. Remember, all these operators are used in a combination of decision making statement and the for loops to construct a program. Alright. Today we are using them in the form of operators, but very soon we are going to use them in if statement, else statement, while loop, for loop, and all. Alright, maybe from the upcoming lectures from Monday when we will start with the standard Python programming. Okay, take it. Another comparison operator that's greater than is A greater than B. Answer is wrong. That means false. A is not greater than B. Right? Right. So what A is less than B? Okay. Many of the students are confused between this greater than sign and the less than sign. Am I right? Fine. Is A lesser than B? The one at whom the bracket faces is talking about the greater part, correct? Right. That means the bracket is now facing towards B. So we are checking for the B to be greater than A. Is it right? And if the bracket is facing towards A, that's an angular bracket. If it is facing at A, that means we are checking for A to be greater than B. Correct? Okay, so A is not greater than B. Check, is A less than B? Sorry, it is not. So it is not greater than B. It is not less than B because it is equal to B. Therefore, we have another operator called as not only less than equal to. So it does two in one work. Okay, these operators are very handy when it comes to comparison and running the loops. Two in one. Okay, we are checking for two conditions here. Either A is less than B और A is equal to B. दोनों में से कोई भी एक चलेगा. Right? If A is less than B, true. But if it is not less than B, please check for equality. Is A equal to B? So either less than or equal to. Right? So 10 is not less than 10, but definitely 10 is equal to 10. Alright. So it returns me true. Correct. The same thing could have been applied for A greater than equal to B. Of course, 10 is not greater than 10, but definitely 10 is equal to 10. So the equality is again going to return me Boolean true. Alright. Fine. So even instead of 10, if I'm set A to 100, this time A is not equal to B. 100 is not equal to 10, but 100 is greater than 10. Right? So it is still true. Right? And if I change it this way, 1000. What about now? Is A greater than B? No, 100 is not greater than 1000. Is A equal to B? Never. 100 is not equal to 1000. Am I right? Neither 100 is greater than nor it is equal to. So this time it's going to return me false. Right? If I could change the sign, is A less than or equal to B? A is not equal to B, but A is definitely less than B. Correct. All right. Fine. So here we come to the end of this category, which is a comparison operator. Always remember this 5 6 operators which are listed here. All right, four, six operators total. Equality operator, not equality operator, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to are the comparisons operator. All right. Fine. Now, before I could move on to the next category of logical operator, let me check any doubt in the chat box. Somebody would like to ask. Okay, thank you, Kajal. Thank you, Darshan. Thank you, Parth. Fine, a good number of people are answering. Thank you very much, everyone who have said yes or no. Okay, now coming to logical operator. Logical operators are a little trendy operators, and they are often used in logic building. Understood? Often, very often used in logic building. There are total three logical operators, out of which the first two are widely used. Out of three logical, bus, there are only three logical operators, but first two and or they are widely used. Okay. Now, what do you mean by logic here? As I told you, this is used for logic building, right? When you say and, it checks for the trueness of both the condition. All right. Like this is an example I've written here. And for example, x and y. What does it mean? That means x also should be true and y also should be true. Only then the final output will be true. It's like a force, people. It's like a restriction, strictness. All right. The operator and it says I'm very strict. The both the compound condition which you are joining using and must be true for the final outcome to be true. All right. For example, have a look. Have a look. Okay. Say okay. Let's keep this way. A is 100 and B is 1,000. Okay. I write A is greater than, let me say, 10, and B greater than 10. All right. A greater than 10 and B greater than 10. True, because both of them are greater than 10. All right. If I write like this, A greater than 1,000 and B also greater than 1,000. Understood, right? Or greater than equal to, let me say. Let me do like this. Let me make B 10,000 for some time. Okay. Of course, B is greater than 1,000. So the second condition, look, this is X part and this is Y part. Okay. And in between the operator is and. It's like a compound operator. If it joins the two condition, that's the reason we call them as a compound condition. Right, friends? Condition एक नहीं है, condition दो है, joined by and. Am I right? And what is the condition of and? Both the joint conditions should be true for the final outcome to be true. Clear? So B is greater than 1,000 because it is 10,000. Unfortunately, A is not greater than 1,000. A is just 100. So the second condition is true, but the first one is not true. One out of two is true. So the final outcome will be false. Am I right? That's the reason I told you both the condition joined by and must be true for the final outcome to be true. But this is not the case with or. Understood? Or it says I'm a little lenient sort of. Alright? I'm not as strict as Mr. And. I'm a little lenient sort of. Either of the condition is true. Even if one of the two condition is true, I will set the final outcome as true. Understood, right? How does it deal with, look, A greater than 1,000 or B greater than 1,000? Right? Not both should be greater than 1,000. So if I write here or instead of and, first of all, condition once again is not one, it's two joined by or, hence it becomes a compound condition. For the final outcome to be true, either of the one should be true. Understood? If any one is true, let me say the first one comes out to be true, or doesn't bother to check the validity of the second one also. I don't know how many of you understood. Try to interpret the meaning. Out of two, if first one came out to be true, or says I'm not bothered now what will be the outcome of second one. Because in the worst case, if the second one is false, first one is तो true. तो output तो मुझे true ही देना है. Alright? Fine. So or goes to check whether second one is true or false only if the first one is false. Okay, someone who could write me in the chat box, is my last point clear? What did I say you? Or it joins the two condition. Any one should be true. But what is the attitude of or? You look the working style of or. If the first one is true, yeah, thank you, Jitesh. If the first one is true or says, भाई मुझे तो अभी परवाह ही नहीं है. Thank you, Neha. All right, I am the least bothered. Who will check the second one, whether it is true or false? I'm not going to waste my time or says. All right, because the final output, no, I didn't get it. Okay, Darshan. Say I repeat it one more time. What happens with और से और में क्या होता है दर्शन, दो में से कोई भी एक कंडीशन ट्रू ट्रू रहा तो फाइनल आउटकम ट्रू ही आना चाहिए. इज इट राइट? तो अगर पहला वाला ही ट्रू है, और says why should I waste time to check the second one? Because even if the second one is false, first one is तो true, तो आउटपुट तो मुझे ट्रू ही देना है. Is that correct? हाँ, but if the first one was false, then I will give a chance to the second one. Because if it is true by chance, the outcome has to be set to true. Is that clear? Fine. So this is how OR works. If the first one was found to be true, it hardly goes to check the validity of the second one. All right. Fine. So this is how it works. A is greater than 1000 or B is greater than 1000. A is not greater than 1000, but B is definitely greater. Hence it returns true. All right. If both of them are true, well, but as I told you, there would hardly be any chance where both of them are true, or we'll go to check the second one. Understood? First one is true, output should be true. How but if first one is not true, go to check the second one. If it is true, the output should be true. All right. Fine. So this is how AND and OR works. All right. Try to conclude them. Darshan, try karo abhi. And OR. First of all, they both check at least two conditions together. There can be more than two also. All right. Compound condition means what? Not one condition. We are checking more than one condition joined by either AND or OR. All right. For AND, both the joint condition or all the joint condition must be true so that final output will be true. And for OR, either of or any of the joint condition should be true for output to be true. All right. What about the multiple ones? Say A is equals to 100, B is equals to 10,000, and C is equal to, let me say, 1 lakh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A greater than 1000 or B greater than 1000 or C greater than 1000. All right. If I said to run, it says true. All right. That means either of the one should be true. What if I put and everywhere? And, and. Right? Each of these three should be greater than 1000. No, false. Because B is greater than 1000, C is greater than 1000. But the next two are not. Correct? Next two are not. What if I put or here? All right. Let me say and. What if I put or here? That means, check it out. I'm making it a little confusing. Let me see if you can understand. What does it say? A should be greater than 1000. All right. A should be greater than 1000. Now we know A is not greater than 1000. So the first condition is going to be false, right? This is going to be false because A is not greater than 1000. Or B should be greater than 1000 and C should be greater than 1000. Right? So AND is going to return true if B is greater than 1000 and C is greater than 1000, right? And we know very well both B and C are greater than 1000. So this part is going to come true. This part is going to come false. Is that clear? All right. So true or false is going to return me true. Hoping you are understanding. All right. One more time for the last time. Quick. See. A greater than 1000. What is A? A is 100. Is 100 greater than 1000? No, it is not. So this part is definitely going to give us false. Or the result of the other part of the condition. Is it right? That means B should be greater than 1000 and C should be greater than 1000. So this part which is joined by OR is going to return true. So first condition of OR return false and the second condition of OR joined by AND return true. At least one condition is true. That's the reason OR returned us true. Acknowledge me in the chat box. Is that clear? Yes, ma'am. Great. Okay. and or together combined. Was that clear? True, true. Okay, fine. People are already answering here. Okay, good. Thank you very much. All right. So that's all about the logical operator and logical operator or. The last logical operator which is remaining in this category is a not operator. Often, sometimes we prefer to call it as a negation operator also. Okay, negation because it reverses the final result. Hmm? Whatever is the final output, it reverses like this. Take it out how? Like this. Where am I? Here. Okay. We know the final outcome is true here. So if I put this entire condition in a bracket and I write here not. So if the final outcome is true, it's going to negate and set it to false. So it reverses the final answer. Not. Check. Am I right? This again comes to be very handy, people. Once we start writing decision making statements and the branching, if else, okay, you automatically will realize when to use not, how, the particular operator is an applicable, and so on. Okay, so that's false. Okay, and a simple way if I could use, see, a greater than 10, answer is yes. True, a is greater than 10. But if I put this in not, if I put this in not, so it will simply negate the answer true to false. Is that correct? All right, that is the use of the not operator. Okay. The next category of operator that we study is an identity operator. People, this is a very special operator. First of all, oh, there are only two identity operators in Python. Okay, a little different fashioned operator. Its use is also a bit different from others, right? Identity operator is operator and is not operator. First of all, you have to remember the two things about it. It is used in list and tuples. Now, what is a list? What is a tuple? We are still having some time to come to it. Okay, these data structures we are going to shortly learn them. List, tuple, dictionary, and set. Right? Today, just try to understand a variable holding one, or let me say more than one values. All right, a variable in the memory holding more than one values are list and tuples. Like a is equals to 10, but what if I want to store 10 also, 20 also, 30 also? I have to declare a as a list. Are you understanding? What if I want to store in a the 100 different values? Okay, so there are 100 employees and I want to store the PAN card number or PAN number or Aadhaar numbers of 100 employees in a single variable separated by comma. Right, so you have to create this variable a as a list, not any ordinary variable. Right, so any variable which is holding more than one value is called as a data structure list or tuple. There are differences between list and tuple, but I don't want to waste time behind it today since we have one complete session only on list and tuple coming up next week. Clear? So first of all, we should be very clear. Identity operator is used by list and tuple, and it is used to check my other part of the statement. It is used to compare the memory locations of the two objects. All right, only if the memory location of the two object is same, it returns true. Right, what do you mean by memory location? I'll shortly answer you that also. Like, look, my definition of is, it returns true if both the variables are same object, not they are holding same value. Okay, for example, those who didn't understand at all, okay, never misunderstand is similar to equal to equal to. No, the two operators are different, people. Okay, look, a is a list, and this list, say a is a list of fruits, boys and girls: apple, mango, banana. Okay? The lists are created inside the square bracket with comma separated values. Got it? Fine. So a is a list. Okay, copy. Then is also a list. Okay, A is a list, B is also a list. If I write like this, A equal B, is A equal to B? Okay. So that returns me true. Of course, yes. Nothing to be confused about. That returns me yes. I was shocked because I thought I have used is over there. Okay, that's not is, that is equal to equal to. Yep, the two of them are equal. Correct? So what is equal to checking? The two values of the variable. Correct? But if I write like this, A is B, that means are the two objects same? This is what I was expecting. It returns false. Why? This time it is not comparing the right side, people. It is not checking the values for equality. It is simply checking is A and B the two same object? No. For A in memory, a different space is constructed. Look like this, guys, like this. Okay, let me connect my tablet, please. Faster. So when you say A, okay, when you say A equals 10, understood what happens in your RAM or in your disk? Okay, a small space on the hard disk or in your RAM, let me say, gets reserved for A. So A is 10, right? B is also equal to 10. So another space in the memory will be constructed for B. Understood? Yeah, both of these variables are holding the same value 10 10. But both of these variables are not sharing the same memory on the disk, right? Okay. For example, if this was the condition, A and B both points at a same value in the memory, that means A is B only, then it gives us true. Okay, so if both the objects in the memory is same, then only it will return as true. But if both objects in the memory are different, they are different objects, people, not same, they are different objects. So is operator is going to return us false. Okay, if somebody could write in the chat box and acknowledge, did you understand my pictorial definition? मेमोरी में अगर दोनों भी ऑब्जेक्ट एक ही है, ओनली देन इज गोइंग टू रिटर्न यू ट्रू. थैंक यू दर्शन, फाइन. बट मेमोरी मतलब आपके रैम में या आपकी हार्ड डिस्क में. थैंक यू. राइट, इफ द टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर नॉट सेम मीन्स दे आर नॉट शेयरिंग द सेम स्पेस, same location, same cell, so it's not going to return you true. Ma'am, then when it is going to, okay, fine. No, 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 part it doesn't happen always. I'm about to come to that point. I took a break from the command line just to show you this diagram. Okay, so what I do now, I take another variable C and I assign C as A. Are you understanding? I take another variable C and I assign C as A. Now, what will happen, C and A we have made to share the same memory. Now, check is A equal to C, or let me say A is C. Check what it returns. Parth, is your question clear? और उल्टा करके देखो, C is A, true. All right, so that's true. This is the difference between equal to operator and is operator. Equal to operator only checks for equality of the values of the two variable. Correct? Remember my diagram, guys, here. Okay, it checks for the values of the two variable like this. Okay, A is also 10 and B is also 10. So the two values holding, or the two values held by A and B in memory is 10. Therefore, equal to will return true. But is operator checks whether the two objects are sharing the same space in the memory. Are the two objects same? Then only it's going to return us true. All right. So what about here now? What about here? If I write like this, C is not A, there should be a space required. Look, raised it has raised a flag indicating a syntax error. Space chahiye yahan. So what? C is not A, false. C is A. Okay. If I write like this, C is not B, C is not B, false. True, sorry, correct, true, because C is not B, right? B is holding a different memory and C is holding a different memory. C we have made to point at A. Understood? If you want the two variables to point at the same memory location, you just assign it as a variable name like C equal to A or C equal to P, something like that. Alright. What will happen now if I negate it? Right. That means I'm using two different categories of operators here, right? So C is not B true, but if I negate the answer, it is going to give me false. Right? Anyways, this was secondary. The primary over here is to understand is and not is operator. Okay. Right. Thank you, Parth. Others, Neha, Kajal was here some time ago. Jitesh, is that clear? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good. Okay. See, I gave you another example. Okay. Say, okay, type of A. Okay. Type of A. Remember the type function, right? We learned it in the very first day. On the very first day we met, it returns the data type of a variable, right? So it's a list. It's a list. Okay. So if I write type of A is list, true. Understand the other applications of is. Okay. Is it integer? Sorry, false. All right. So is can be used this way also to check in particular range of answer. All right. But the major use of is what I've written here on the PPT. Okay. It is used to compare the memory locations of the two objects always. Okay. 99.99% of the time, this is where the identity operators are used. All right. So I want to check if the two list I'm working on the data set, the two list of data which I'm working, say the list of blood group from table 1 and the list of blood group from table 2, if it is same, that means same on the disk itself, the same values exactly. So most probably the chances are high that we will be using is operator here, right? So it returns true if both the variables are the same objects, not though they are holding same value, and returns true for is not will return true if they are not the same object. Okay, fine. Since there is no doubt in the chat box now, so let me go ahead from here. After identity, we have another special operator called as a membership operator. Again, this operator is applicable in the different data sets of Python, data structures of Python like a string, list, tuple, sets, dictionary. As of now, at least we know string. So let's try to operate the string. Okay, if you check the definition, these operators are used to check whether a particular value or variable exists in a sequence or not. All right, now two things you have to keep in mind: value and a दो word use किया हमने यहाँ पे. One is value, other is sequence. Right, now what is value, what is sequence? Let's put it practically. Okay, let's put it practically. Number one, say there is a string. Let me say x is a string. Okay, and it says hello everyone. Hello everyone. Okay. I check here is everyone in x. Okay, I think it's a string. I've made a mistake. Everyone is a string, right? So we need to write it in quotes. Otherwise, it will consider everyone is a variable like x and he returns an error that everyone is not defined. Right? We are, after this 3 days of boot camp, we are at this stage to understand this particular error in front. Right? Since we did not write everyone in a quote, single quote, double quote, both of it works. Dono bhi chalta hai. Right? That means it will be considered as a variable. And unfortunately, everyone was not defined anywhere above. That's the reason the error in front it is not defined. Okay? Everyone in X, yes, true. What about now? Every in X is true because it checks for a substring. Am I right? Every space one in X, guess, false. Because it has considered every space one as one string with space in between. Are you understanding? All right. Every one के बीच में space इस तरह से वो everyone को ढूंढ रहा है. So whatever you write in a code is a single search pattern to be searched. Getting it? If you write like this, if you write like this, EV in X, EV, of course, yes, it is. Check. This part of a substring is there in a string, right? Instead of string, if I use this time a list, say 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, 50, 60, 60, and 70. And I check for 50 in Y. All right, true, 50 is in Y. And I check for a particular element, say 500 in Y. Sorry, 500 is not in Y. All right, so this again operator is a very handy operator when it comes to, especially when we will be working on numpys and pandas in the upcoming days of the bootcamp. All right, wherein we will beforehand come to know the data to be analyzed is present in the data set or not. Are you understanding? The data which is to be analyzed or the data which is to be, for example, forecasted, or is it present in the data set or not? Like in, we can also use not in. Is 500 not in Y? True, 500 is not in Y. Darshan, understanding na? Check, 500 is not in Y. Correct? So it is not in Y. It returns me true. Okay, if I could get rid of this. I don't want that. That is unnecessary confusing. True. Is that clear? Fine. So these are the two membership operators. I told you keep in mind those two words, value and a sequence. Who is value and who is a sequence in membership operators? 500 is a value to be searched and Y is a sequence. Sequence can be a list, sequence can be a string, sequence can be a dictionary, it can be a tuple, it can be a set, it can be something else. As of now, we know string and to some extent list. Hoping you understand. Correct. Fine. Roughly to put up the categories of operators that we learned, we started with comparison operator. We moved on to logical operators. Number two, correct? Comparison operator, logical operator, identity operator, is and is not, and then membership operator, in and not in. All right. Before I could move on to the next set of operator, that's an assignment operator. Assignment people. Okay. Would like to hear back from you. Any doubt? Something you would like to ask? Anything? Come on. Feel free to question it out. All right. Fine. Okay. So considering the concept understood, we move ahead from here. Okay. Make a note of it. All right. Very soon, I'm going to release all this content used during the sessions up in the description boxes. Okay. The upcoming Saturday and Sunday holidays, I shall be almost done with it. Okay. We'll ping you once done. Okay. The next group of operators which is yet left to be studied is an assignment operator. Here we go. Okay. The name itself suggests its role. And in fact, the first operator from this list is the one that we are using right from day one. All right. The best assignment operator that is equal to assign a value to a variable. Is that clear? Fine. So how to use that? This is an assignment operator. All right. Always remember, assignment operator assigns the value on the right side to variable on the left side. For example, there will be something written on the left side, LHS, left hand side, and something written on RHS, right hand side. Here. So assignment operator always assign right hand side value to the left hand side. Okay. This is what I'm talking, guys. This is what I'm talking. Say if I write like this, x is equal to 10, meaning is 10 will be assigned to x. Do not consider this is equal to writing 10 is equals to x. Wrong. These two are different. If you attempt to do this way, it will try to assign x to 10, but since it won't make any sense, okay, 10 should be an assignable object, correct? It's an integer, nothing can be assigned to it. All right, then it on the left side, what you are writing or coding must be an assignable object. But 10 is a value, it's an integer, you can't assign something to it. And this attempt will go fail, error would be prompted, right? So a is equals to 100 is equal to writing 100 is equals to a, that is wrong. All right, so assignment operator always attempts to assign right hand side to left hand side. Exactly. Fine. So if I come here, say a equals 10, that's fine. Print a, print a. A is printed. Right? But the same thing if I try to do like this, 10 equals a, no, cannot assign this. Okay, look, this is a literal people. Oh, this is not a variable kind of object. We cannot do that. All right, understanding. Okay, what else to be shown? Okay, let's move ahead. This was an assignment operator. Next, let me show you another assignment operator called as plus equal to. Okay, now this is basically called as a shorthand operator. For example, let me take a notepad here. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. And quick if I can, since we are left with only 15 minutes to go. Okay, all right. Right, now see. Suppose if I write I is equals to 1, and then I is equals to I plus 10. This is called as adding value in the operator itself, correct? I is equals to I plus 10. So what will be the updated value of I? I is going to become 11, correct? Now this same expression in shorthand way can be written as I plus equal to 10. Alright, what do you mean by I plus equal to 10? Same what I've written here. I is equal to I plus 10. Similarly, if you write like this, I minus equal to 10 means subtract 10 from I. This is a shorthand of writing I is equals to I minus 10. Likewise, if you use I asterisk equal to 10, this is a shorthand of writing I is equals to I into 10. Okay, I division equals 10. This is again shorthand of writing I equal to I divided by 10. Okay, I mod equal to 10, again equivalent to write, I is equal to I modulus 10. All right, one more left. I floor division equal to 10. This is again almost equal to right. I is equals to I floor divided by 10. All right, but this shortened operators are well enough to use, or they can be used only if the variable is I itself. For example, if you want to update I this way, I is equals to, say, j minus 10, then this is invalid because 10 will be subtracted from I itself, not from any other variable. You understood? So the shorthand operators comes handy, and they're useful if the values are to be operated upon the operator or the operand itself, not from any other operand. Right? So if you want to assign I as j minus 10, so shorthand is not a way to use. All right, fine. Let's check whether this logic works or not. Okay, this logic works or not. So if I write like this, I equals 10, I plus equal 100. That means I is equals to I plus 100. Right? The old value of I was 10. I plus 100 is going to make it 110. Okay, since I did not print it, right? Print. That's 110. Fine. Okay. After that, suppose I say I minus equals 50. So what was the last value of I? 110? 110 minus 50, correct? I think that should give me 60. Yes. Okay. Let me keep this code copied so that it will save a time. I asterisk equal 10. That means 60 into 10, correct? That means 60 into 10. So the answer should be 600. I asterisk, not asterisk this time, division by, say 4. So I is equals to I divide by 4. Is it right? 600 divided by 4. Divided by 4. I think that should give us, okay, 150.0. All right. Instead of 4, if I divide it by 7, let's say. Okay. I divided by 7. And in case if I take the floor division, so that should give me as 85, right? Not division, I just change it to floor division. Okay, so it's giving me 85. Right? Please acknowledge. Is this concept's clear or not? People are understanding. All my friends who are here. I would be grateful to you if you answer to me in the chat box. I think there is some voice lagging happening. Okay. So this was another category of assignment operator. Assignment operators can be this kind of shorthand operators as well. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Jitesh. Good. Okay. Right. Now quickly some questions in the form of a rapid fire. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. If you really understood each of these stuffs, to try to answer this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Those who have answered yes, thank you, everyone. I could read your chats. Look at it. Some questions I have kept for the lecture today. What about this one? What is this going to return? Okay. ET is not in. Let's go for a dinner. True or false? ET is not in. Let's go for a dinner. ET is not in. Let's go for a dinner. I keep it copied. Answer from your end. False. Good. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. That's false. That's false. Correct? That's false. If you could quickly try that. If you could quickly try that. Oh, it didn't copy. Anyways, it's going to give me false. Control C, V, I don't know why it's not. But anyways, ET is there in LET, so it is present, right? So it's not going to return me true, but false. Right? ET is not in the that whatever. Correct? False, false. It's going to return me false. Good. What about this one? What about this one? Check it out. Take your time and answer me. Okay, x is 200, y is 500, and z is equal to y. So z is y, Are Z and Y the same object? Is Z and Y the same object? True. Yes, guys. Yes, it is the same object. Thank you. Thank you for the people who are answering. Then quickly answer this one as well. The next one. What about the next one? X is 200, Y is again 500, and Z is equal to Y. So this time is X not Y. Alright, that means is X and Y not the same object? Are X and Y not the same object? True, they are not the same object. Z and Y are the same objects, right? Z and Y are the same objects. X and Y are not the same object. Is it right? How come false? But it should be true. Is it right? True, guys. True. See, Z, X, not Y. Am I right? Who are the same objects? Z and Y are the same objects. X and Y are not the same objects. So answer should be true. Is that clear? Fine. Let's quickly run it. X 200, Y 500, Z is equal to Y. Okay. X 200, Y 500, and Z is equal to Y. All right. What are we checking for? We're checking for X is not Y. X is not Y. We all have answered it as true. Correct? Yes, X is not Y. All right. So Z is not Y. Z is not Y. False. Z is Y. The two objects are same in the memory. Correct? Z is Y. Hoping you are understanding. Clear? Fine. Okay, I think there's one more here. What about this one? Come on. This is almost the last one. What about this one? X is 250. All right. What is going to return true or false? X is greater than 4 or X is less than 400. Quick, the first one, people. X is greater than 4 or X is less than 400. True or false? It's going to return true. Am I right? Why? Why it's going to return as true? Because X is greater than 4. This is true. So it won't go to check the next condition whether it is true or not. Any one should be true. Right? X is 250 and 250 is greater than 4. Correct? Finish. Come on. 30 is not equal to 40? True. 30 is less than 40? True. So both are true and is going to return true, right? Check it out here. Come on, check it out here. Say 30 is not equal to 40. True, 30 is not equal to 40. 30 less than 40. Yes, again true. 30 is less than 40. So this is what we combined. We joined. Because if both of them are true, and is going to return us true. All right. What if I change this one as greater than? So that means 30 is not greater than 40. One condition came out to be false, and is going to return as false. All right. And lastly, come on, let's wind off the session with this question. X is 200. What's going to be printed? You people tell me in the chat box first. What's going to be the final answer? Darshan, try karo, try karo. False. You are right. Good. Thank you for the people who are answering. It's false. How? How come false? Right? Because X is 200. Right. All right. First check in inner condition. Not will be executed on the final outcome. Right? So 200 is greater than 4. All right. 200 is greater than 4. So it is true. 200 is less than 300. That is also true. So inner clause is going to return as true, but true will be negated by not, and the answer will be false. All right, fine. Okay, this brings us to the end of different operators of Python. Although, guys, there is one more category of operator called as a bitwise operators in Python. Understanding bitwise operators, but considering we aren't going to use bitwise operator in that frequently as the other operators, I con- do not spend time behind it. Instead, we'll start with decision making and branching using if else from Monday. All right, but from your end, try if you can understand bitwise operators well. If you cannot, like what is left shift, what is right shift, it's more about electronics, less about coding. All right, then come back to me on Monday. I'll see how can I help you out with it. All right, fine. So putting up all these categories of operators available in Python, starting from arithmetic operator, comparison operator, assignment operator. All right. What else? Membership operator, identity operator, logical operators. All right. Although a bitwise operator, one more category. All right. And someday, if time permit in between, I shall take it up that too. All right, fine. Okay, that's all from the session today. Since I have a connected class, I need to leave. Monday, when I meet you sharp, people, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we don't have any class. Okay, now Monday, when I meet you, we shall be starting with if else, that is decision making in Python. All right, see you back on Monday, and please like the video in case if you are actually getting some benefit out of it. Okay, that would keep us motivated and work even harder. All right. Thank you so much. Have a happy weekend. Enjoy.